What's going on, guys? Joe from SRHQ. Got a group of pen knives on the mat today I wanted to share with you all. I'm interested to know what you guys think of these, so let me know down in the comments if you guys carry pen knives or like pen knives or hate pen knives. Let me know down in the comments below. I don't know, I don't hate pen knives, but I don't talk about pen knives very often on this channel. In fact, pen knives are probably the most neglected type of traditional knife on the Messer HQ channel, and I'm trying to change that. I have a selection of pen knives here. I've been using a lot of these. I've been handling all of these and trying to learn a little bit about them and get a better feel for the pen knife. But I have some cool ones here on the mat, and I figured I'd share them with you. So pen knives come in all shapes and sizes. Of course, what we're talking about with a pen knife is we're talking about, you know, a knife with blades coming out of both ends of the handle, if that makes sense. Jackknife, you know, if this knife did not have this blade down here and just had a blade coming out of one end, we'd be talking about a jackknife. But since this knife has blades coming out of both ends, it is a pen knife. Sometimes it can be a double-ended jackknife, but I believe all of the ones here are representative of the pen knife. So I'm just going to go through, show you what I have, tell you what I know about them, and yeah, like I said, I'd love to know what you guys think about these as well. I have a couple different shapes of the pen knife represented here. I have the equal end, which this would be an equal end, meaning, you know, it's just the same size on both ends. This one would also be an equal end. And this one here, also an equal end. What else do I have? I also have serpentines. Here's a serpentine pen knife. Serpentine meaning you can see this kind of S shape to the handle. It's known as a serpentine handle, and here is a serpentine pen knife. This is also a serpentine pen knife. Very cool. This one was a Hartkoff, and this one is a Swanworks, both German blades. I also have a Congress. You see the characteristic bowed Congress pen knife, as well as a sleeve board pen knife, which is probably my favorite type of pen knife at the moment. This one's from Cattaraugus. Very cool. So I'll just go through and talk about each one of these guys, and we'll just see how it goes. I'll try not to go too long. Let's just start with this one, the office knife. This one's made by Camillus. My friend BDH sent this over. Really happy he did. It's been getting light duty use ever since. This one stays on my desk, and whenever there is a letter to be opened, this is the knife that is called into service. Very cool. Here's our tang stamp. This is known as the 4-line Camillus stamp. Camillus Cutlery Co. Camillus New York, and then USA underneath. And from what I've been able to gather, this is from the early 1930s to the mid 1940s, this tang stamp. So that's cool. That's a lot older than I originally thought this knife was. You know, the office knife is a really cool pattern. I believe every company made their version of an office knife. Camillus probably made the most of them, but it's just what the name says. You know, it was a knife to bring to work with you, to keep at the office, to throw in your slacks. It was just a light duty utility knife. And this one has a spear master blade with a long pull. It's carbon steel. And the secondary blade looks very much like a spade blade, but they would have called this the eraser blade. And the idea is, if you had a mistake on a document, you know, before the time of whiteout, you would just take this blade and scratch the ink right off the paper. So that's cool. A little piece of history that no one really thinks about or knows about anymore. But yeah, I have it on the office knife. So let's stay with the equal ends. You can see this one has bolsters. You know, some of these have bolsters. This one is bolsterless, so that would be known as a shadow knife. Also with pen knives, you could have kind of really skinny, small bolsters. They're known as tipped bolsters. I don't have any of them here to share with you, but let's just stay with the equal ends. Here's a Boker. Metal handle, I believe it to be stainless steel, all steel construction. Really nicely constructed. Really nice hunting scene on it. These knives are pretty common on the German eBay. Picked this up for about 25 euro. Really cool. We have a master spear and a secondary pen. Really cool, light, thin knife. Has really good fit and finish, really great snap. Yeah, happy to have it in the collection. So the last equal end that I have here is a Friedrich Hartkopf. Give you a look at that tang stamp. Stag covers. I just think this is a great looking equal end knife. I bought this one in 2016 in Regensburg, Germany. Little knife shop in Regensburg. Super cool. It was right before a trip to Budapest in Hungary, and this knife was along for the trip. So yeah, this one has a spear, master, and a secondary bottle opener, screwdriver. You know, every knife company nowadays seems to be coming out with their bottle opener knives. You know, Boker's coming out with it on their swell end. Great Eastern Cutlery, you know, always comes out with, you know, the cap lifter knife, and they're very collectible, but for me, they're just not very exciting because in Germany, this is a very common pattern. You see all kinds of pen knives with a spear master blade and a secondary bottle opener. So for me, it's just not very exciting. I'd really like to see more pen knives, clip blades as a secondary, but it's there. They're very common in Germany. I have one of them, this Friedrich Hartkopf. Very cool knife. Carried this one a lot. So that's all for the equal end. Let's talk about the sleeve board. Really like the sleeve board pen knife, or at least this one. This is a Cattaraugus. Great looking spear point blade. You know, I can show you what I have for the tang stamp. It's very, very light on this one. You can probably see it better in the camera than I can see it in real life. But I actually have a second one that's the exact same knife. It just so happened to work out that way. And here's the tang stamp, much better on this one. Yeah, these are in Rogers bone, which I don't talk about Rogers bone a lot. I just started learning about it. Rogers bone was made by Rogers. It's a company that made bone products from the late 1800s to the 1960s. They made bone handle scales. They did different jiggings. They had 4 or 5 different jigging patterns. They also made combs, toothbrushes, baby pacifiers, and corncob pipe bits. So they just dealt in bone, and companies would contract them out to make bone handles for their knives. And this is in Rogers bone. Rogers would have called it Rogers stag, but it's very sought after by collectors. And these are both in the same jig. As you guys can see, it's the same knife. Very cool. What else do I have in Rogers bone? This Powell Blade Company Navy General Utility Knife, this easy opener. You can see this is a different jig. I read that Rogers had 4 or 5 different jigging patterns that they used on their bone handles. Here are a couple. Yeah, so really cool. Sleeve board penknife. This one has a spear master blade. Great looking swedge up on top. Opens with a nail nick, and this one has a secondary pen. So just a really cool pattern if you ask me. This one, I have 2 of them, so one's probably going to be a carry one. This one, the blades are in better shape. This one has spotting, but this one has the better tang stamp, and this one has the better blades and the weaker tang stamp. So I haven't decided which one I'm going to carry, but one of these is going to get some pocket time for sure. So what else do I have to talk about? I already talked about this. I'm trying to keep the ones I've talked about closed. Let's go to the Serpentine. This one is another Hartkopf. Got this one from Mark, Dutch knife guy. He sent me a bunch of slip joints, and this is one of the ones that was in it. I believe this is rosewood on the covers. Clip point master as well as a clip point secondary. Really cool knife, really elegant knife. This again is just a very common pattern in Germany. I can go to any knife shop in Munich and see, 50 different knives that look just like this one. But this one's cool. This one's got a older tang stamp, Hartkopf & Co. Someone actually wrote me and they said they were doing research and they had thought that Hartkopf & Co. was a completely different company than the Hartkopf knives that we know from today. But then he said this knife looks exactly like the modern ones that are being made. So that kind of put a wrench in his theory. But yeah, I've really been enjoying carrying this one. It's super slim. I like the wood. I like the feeling of this knife. And yeah, that one's been getting a lot of carry time recently. The other one that I have is this one. This one's by Swanworks. Just a really great looking penknife, if you ask me. Serpentine frame, but very slender end on the smaller end here, compared to the Hartkopf. This type of penknife is actually known as a Wharncliffe knife. We have a Wharncliffe master, and then a pen secondary, but it actually has a half stop and still has great snap. This one is a really old knife, I think. Swanworks Oligs. Oligs is, Solingen. Yeah, I don't know a lot about this knife other than I really like it. I really like the bone. I really like the jigging pattern. Like the color. I actually like the patina on it. This knife just looks like it's been through a war. It looks like someone's redone the pin. But yeah, still has pretty decent snap. Really been enjoying that one. The last one I'll talk about is the Great Eastern Cutlery. This is the Easy Pocket Congress from the 2020 lineup. Really been enjoying this knife. This one looked great when it was bright, shiny, and new, but I think it looks even better now with a little patina. We have a Wharncliffe main blade and a pen secondary. You can see there's a little cutout for the pen. Makes it really nice and easy to get the blade out. I love the big oversized shield. Love the covers on this one. This is in the Unicorn Ivory acrylic. Just looks great. All in all, really well put together knife. I love this Wharncliffe main. I get this thing so scary sharp. Yeah, been really enjoying carrying this one. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I just wanted to show you some pen knives that I've been taking a look at. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm really excited to know what you think about them. So let me know down in the comments below. So that's going to do it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.